Wait, I didn't turn off your mute, Mother Bear. Hang on just a second. Great. There you are, Mother Bear. Now we can hear you.
All right. I just want to welcome you all to the very first of the Cauldron's virtual Temple of Living Mysteries. I'm so happy you all are here for this segment, and I'm glad that we could offer something to everyone so that we can avail ourselves of the information that is coming through energetically as we speak about this conjunction, but we need some information to let us know what this conjunction is all about, and then how it connects to the work we're doing in the mystery cycle. So most of you know me. For those that don't, you know that this is Marilyn Mother Bear Scott. I'm the goddess in chief of the of the Magickal Cauldron for these many years. It's a 501c3 for those of you who don't know about us, and Durga Delta are original founders with me. And so I'm happy we're all together today, and I'm going to turn it over to my esteemed High Priest, Thomas Fuller, with whom I have worked for as many decades as with Durga. And so welcome, Thomas. I'm so happy that we're able to engage in this work together.
Thank you. Thank you, Mother Bear. Yeah, I am so excited to be here. And as Marilyn said, she and I go back to 1985. We both lived on Greenfield Ranch together for a while in Mendocino County back then. With Durga, I was able to participate in the first 4 festival rite of Eleusis back in 2001 and 2002. And in the 2 successive cycles, I did serve as High Priest with Marilyn, Mother Bear. As I think a lot of you know, this is the last go-round for Marilyn as High Priestess of these rites. And not only does that mean that this is the last opportunity to experience this, if you haven't already, but I also think that it means that we are going to be in for some really, really special magical transmissions from our High Priestess. So if you haven't signed up already for the mysteries, don't wait too long, because there's a limited number of spaces. I just want to say also that when I'm not involved with ceremony, I'm a marriage family therapist in Portland. I have a private practice up here. I'm the husband of Durga and the father of Jesse and Ceres, 2 teenagers. I've been involved in men's work for about 20 years, and that's our mascot, Uso. I've also been of Buddhist mind training for since the early 80s, so that's a big part of what I bring to this magical working. And yeah, I just want to say that as Mother Bear also mentioned, this is a very auspicious day, both for the astrology that Durga's going to talk about shortly, but also that we're launching kind of a new level of our technical outreach of this work out into the world, which is obvious by the fact that you are all here joining today. This is an amazing coming together of events. So lots to look forward to. Lots happening today. Briefly, what we're going to do next is to have everybody else introduce themselves that is joining us today, and then after that, the rest of the priesthood will introduce themselves. And
so let's have the priesthood introduce first, Tom.
The priesthood first?
Could we have the priesthood introduce first? Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, we did do it the other day. You're right. All right, we'll go with the public first, the group first.
Okay.
It's all right.
Because there's so many, because there's so many of you, we're going to ask you to really stay brief. Basically, your name, where you're located, whether you are on board to be a pilgrim for this cycle yet or not, and also just 1 or 2 sentences about how you got here today. What connections and causes and conditions got you to be on this call today. So as Durga said, we don't know exactly how this is going to work, but you should probably just raise your hand and she'll unmute you, and then just tell us briefly who you are.
I have an idea.
Yes.
I have an idea that whoever starts if it would work, I don't know, but they could call on the next person. You could call on one of the.
Great idea. All right.
Okay.
I will do that. I will start with Morticia.
Morticia, you can unmute yourself, or I'm looking for you here. I'm going to unmute. You got it. Yay.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Tisha or Morticia, and I'm in Humboldt County up in Northern California. And Marilyn reached out to me last week and invited me to be a part of this. And I found Marilyn kind of through Stormy and an invite to Goddess Gather a few years back, where I met several of you. And it turned out that Marilyn and I had spent some time together down in Berkeley that we figured out after a few days. I'm not entirely sure that I'm committing. I think so. I've got a few things to work out, and I'm in a really weird place in my life right now. So it's either going to be perfect or or not.
Great.
Who would you like to choose
Oh,
next?
on the next
Oh.
person.
Let's see who's up there. Who do I know? How about Shannon?
Hi, I'm here. Can everyone hear me? You can
Mm-hmm.
hear me through?
A little soft, but we can hear you.
Okay, great. Let's see. I live in Ukiah in Mendocino County, and I am going to be a pilgrim this year, and I'm really excited. It's something I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and I'm really happy to be able to participate while Mother Bear is priestessing. And let's see, I've been working and hanging out with Tom and Durga and Mother Bear for probably the better part of 20 years now. Yeah, through Goddess Gather and all sorts of other wonderful, juicy things. And I'm happy to be here with you all today. And I'll have Bernadette go next. She's right here next to me.
Welcome, Shannon.
Hello, I'm Bernadette, and I live in Boonville in Mendocino County. And I've known Mother Bear for maybe 11 years. And I'm grateful to have our friendship over the years. And I am committed on this path. And
Yay.
I called it in. And I'm really grateful that it was answered. And blessed be.
Call on someone.
So we can't see anybody on our phone. So
Okay.
if you want to maybe call the next person.
Stormy.
Stormy?
Stormy, I think you can unmute yourself. I will look for
Hey,
you.
I'm sorry.
Yay, you got it.
There you are.
It was the poop apocalypse in there, so I don't think I can hang out very long. But I love you guys. I grew up with Mother Bear and Durga and everybody. I think we're introducing ourselves right now. We take care of my boyfriend's grandmother. So she's in bed and I need to go help change her. So I don't think I'll be able to join you guys this year, but very soon I will. Okay?
Okay.
Call on someone.
Okay, bye.
Bye. How about
Devorah.
We both got that.
Okay, call
I
on.
have to unmute us.
Is
Hi,
Devorah going?
hi everybody. I'm Devorah. I live in Eureka area in the Redwoods. I've known several of these folks from Church of All Worlds Gathering, from Ancient Ways, from Pantheacon, from my friendship with Sarah, from my friendship with Meadow, who passed in '98, and I'm a Jewish, and I like the way you all do rituals, and I think they've been very powerful whenever I experience them. I like to sing a lot. I like to. I am definitely often a ritual songstress and drummer and guitar player, and I have committed to that. And I want to just say one thing. I was kind of worried about the money, and all of a sudden, in the new year, all these different channels of raising money have come to me. All of a sudden, abundance is mine. I don't know, so that's kind of cool. And let's see, is Celestine is part of the priesthood, or?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. I don't know you, Aiko.
ECO, spelled ICO, stands for incredibly caring organism. And yeah, that name was magically gifted to me at a one of the rituals at CAW, the Church of All Worlds. And then the name ECO was gifted to me, and then the acronym was later gifted to me by a different person. And that really encapsulates a lot of who and what I'm about. I'm co-creating a world of enlightened consent, where everything consensual is honored, and honoring your authentic truth, so you can have relationships that you love and thrive in. I know Mother Bear through my connections with the Church of All Worlds, and I am fully committed to being a pilgrim on this path. As soon as I heard that this was a possibility of happening, I jumped in being like, how can I help make this happen? Make sure that there are enough pilgrims so I can actually be a part of Mother Bear's last time leading this. So,
Thank you.
let's see, who can I pick next? Oh, I also have a couple of my chosen family listening into this call, George and Book, and I'm not sure if two of my other chosen family members, George and Andrew and Keely, are on this or not as of yet. So I'm grateful that I have at least two of my chosen family here listening in on this. I will pick Jamie next.
I think am I good? Okay, here we go. Hello, I'm Jamie. I am up here in Portland. I came to this from Tom, who introduces me to, I think, all kinds of spiritual groups that I've been getting involved in. I focused mainly on nature-based spiritual practices, and am excited to be initiated onto this path. I've committed to that, and I'm super psyched to see what the mysteries are all about and to find out more about this community. So thank you all for being here and welcoming me onto this.
Welcome. Yeah.
Oh, I need to pick some right. It's I can't remember who already has and hasn't gone. Ashara? Is that someone I can pick?
In my own picture, and I don't like. Am I audible now?
Good.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Thank you, Jamie. I thought you looked a little familiar. I am a traveler and interdimensionally, and in the realm of Mama Gaia, and I live in British Columbia at the moment. But my heart lives a lot of different places, including Portland with the Fullers and their fabulous family, and in California with Delta and Mother Bear and all the other fantastic people from and Magickal Cauldron. And let's just say that I have chosen myself to be a pilgrim, and I can't wait, and I'm terrified, and I have no idea how this is going to work, but you and me, Mother Bear, we're gonna create all kinds of volcanoes and thunderstorms and lightning, and I can't wait. So I have a lot of work that I need to do. I've been doing work my whole life to integrate and figure out what the hell I'm doing here. And I feel like at the young age of 62, I'm starting to get a little bit of a sense of things. And I have no idea what the heck I'm up to, but I know that this is my calling. So there's lots of other things I'm up to and all kinds of trouble that I like to cause. And I guess we're just going to find out what that looks like in an amazing group energy like this. So let's strap on our seatbelts and take that rocket ride. Couldn't be more excited. Mwah! I love you guys. I think I need to say one more thing, which is that how I came to this program is my husband was a pilgrim, and then he was a priest, and I am now choosing to take my own individual path separate from him and his experience, and that's going to be really interesting too. Okay, that's it. Love you guys.
Okay, pick someone.
Sorry, you want to pick
Oh,
someone?
yes. Who do I want to pick? I would like to pick Dick Tracy, please. Are you a priestess or are you a pilgrim?
That's a good question. In general, I am a priestess.
Yes.
So I have Isis Oasis Sanctuary, where we are very honored to welcome Mother Bear and the Eleusinian Mysteries, and we're looking forward to feeling her transformative fires this year as we work through this program. So I'm glad to be here.
Right.
Welcome to Tracy.
Welcome.
We were going to get you in a little later, but that's fine. I think there's still some.
To pick some other
Yeah.
to introduce themselves. Tracy's gone. How about Diane?
Excuse me just a minute. I just, the phone rang, which distracted me, so I didn't hear what Tracy had to say. Did she mention that she's High Priestess of Isis Oasis?
Yes, she did.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And I'm so glad to be to have you amongst us, Tracy. Thank you. All right, pick someone. Answer it.
I'm not sure who has gone because I was taken away for a few minutes with someone who was actually physically here, thinking it was a physical temple opening here. So I don't know who to choose. So please, could someone else choose for me?
Michelle Mueller.
Sure, and I will start my video now so you get one peek at me. All right, so hi. Having some Wi-Fi issues, dropping in and out. Nice to see you, Mother Bear. It's been a while since I saw you at Onavin a couple years ago.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi. So let's see. I'm Michelle. I live in Oakland. You know what? I'm really just trying to learn more about what Magickal Cauldron does. I wrote a very long essay about the Persephone myth about 15 years ago. It was my senior thesis as an undergraduate, and it's just been kind of in my mind. It's like, 15-year anniversary of that, and I've been just actually interested in other groups that are doing Eleusinian mysteries as kind of revisiting that project. And then it just kind of was this synchronicity, and I got an email about this temple opening and the Eleusinian mysteries with your group, so I thought I should at least be on the call. I have, in terms of being a pilgrim, just economically and time constraints, most likely not. I have a 3-year-old. And we both, my partner and I both have long commutes, etc. And so probably not, but I'd like at least like to know what y'all do. And then, yeah, I guess that covers everything. What brought me here was wrapped up in that. Let's see if I can, has Delta introduced herself?
Who's part
Let's
of the
go to Jean Marie Bishop.
Jean-Marie.
Let's go to her. Down right here. Jean Marie.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm Jean Marie. I met Marilyn Mother Bear 30 years ago this year, which astonishes me to think of that and all. I had a little baby daughter who is now a public defender in Colorado Springs. So it just boggles. It just boggles my mind. But I jumped on to this opportunity this morning when I saw Mother Bear's post, because I dreamed about Mother Bear last night. And I dreamed that Mother Bear came to visit me with her whole extended family, all her children and grandchildren and everybody. And I know that's a lot of people, but they came and my house suddenly became huge with all these rooms I didn't know about and all this land around us. And I lost track of my grandson. And in my dream, my grandson was a baby and I was frantic trying to find him. And Mother Bear was the only one among all these, this crazy, it was like a crazy festival time at Anavan, the way those used to go, when, not during ritual, but during when it was just everybody's running around and, lots of chaos. And she was as desperate as I was to find my grandson. And that particular grandson is my eldest one of 4. And he just turned 13. And his mother took him away from us when he was 6. And I haven't seen him since, and neither has my son, his father. And so it felt auspicious in the extreme when the first thing that popped up when I opened my phone this morning and opened up Facebook, and there I saw Mother Bear's post about this call. So I am committed to being a pilgrim because I trust Mother Bear. I've always called her Mama Bear. I trust Mama Bear. I just entirely trust her. I don't know what it costs, but I'll make it happen and do it. And
so glad to hear that.
I am in Phoenix, Arizona, so I don't know if that's any kind of a problem, but I'm here and entirely all 100% present.
Beautiful. Welcome. I'm so glad to hear from you. Beautiful dream too. I mean, the part you sent me. Sweet. Okay, let's call on Diana Ehrman.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, you can.
Yes, the part I wrote you that I forgot to mention was during my dream, I realized it was a dream. And I said to you, I know this is a dream. And I went over to you and you hugged me, you opened your arms like you always do. And I hugged you so hard and I said, I don't ever want to wake up. And I wish I didn't.
You're making me tear up here.
Me too.
Love you. All right, let's call on Diana next. Diana Ehrman.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm seeing some familiar faces, so it's I'm really feel welcomed, and I met Mother Bear and other groups of Magickal Cauldron about 7-8 months ago, and I felt very welcomed, and I said to Mother Bear that I'd like to experience the mysteries, and I want to participate in the mystery, and I felt very drawn to the process, and I'm very excited about that, and I look forward to meeting everyone and hopefully in person at some point. And thank you for including me.
Oh, welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Hello.
Okay, let's Who's next?
I have to go, so I just want to say bye. And thank you so much for reaching out to me, Mother
Tisha,
Bear.
I'm sorry we didn't get into the meat of the call, but it is
okay.
recording, and so we'll share it with you along the way, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, please send the recording. I'll check in with you ladies tomorrow about everything. Good to meet all of you.
Bye-bye. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.
All right. So who are we calling on now? Who did? Denise? Do we want to do Denise's Galaxy?
Yes.
All right.
Uh,
Are you there, Denise?
Actually, this is
Denise?
Arthur. I finally
Okay,
I
Arthur.
finally found the way to get
Well,
into
I just read the thing. I wasn't sure. So, Arthur, yes. Welcome, Arthur. I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah, I just finally got Zoom working. I spent half an hour trying to get into the site. So I missed the whole thing.
Well, you didn't miss everything because we're just still in the midst of introductions, and it's your turn to introduce, and you can catch up with the other introductions later. Okay? So introduce yourself. Tom, do you want to give him the rundown of what we're doing?
Hi, Arthur. Just give us your name and your location, and whether you're a pilgrim or not, and how you got to be here today. Relatively briefly, I'm going to ask everybody to try to be brief because we're already running behind schedule, and we want to hear from everybody. We just don't have a whole lot of time today.
I'm trying to find out my volume.
You're coming across.
We can hear you.
Are you there, Arthur?
Yeah, I'm having trouble getting the volume up.
Okay, well, we can hear you well.
We can hear you.
You can hear me, but I can't hear you. Let me turn this a little bit. That might help. Okay, now I might be able to hear. Say something now.
Okay, did you hear what I?
Okay, we can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Better.
Tell us who you are and where you're at.
Sorry?
So Arthur, just to give you a little suggestion, if I might, you can go out of Zoom and come back in. And when you see the sign that says to use your computer audio, click on that blue, there's a blue link for that, and it'll probably help your computer to link in.
All right, and I'm going to suggest maybe we have someone else speak while Arthur figures that out.
Hi, Delta.
And it's Durga, actually. And then, so let's give you a chance to do that, and then we'll come back to you next time. How does that sound, Arthur?
Well, he doesn't hear you. So
unless you're ready.
If somebody could call him by just regular phone and just tell him, you know, go out and come back in. And if he clicks that, if he can click that join with your computer, it should just follow in.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, actually, I think maybe he has it all set because he did hear Tom and I speak to him, because he said, I can't hear you, but he responded to what he said. So maybe the volume isn't great. But I do think that if you want to give it a try right now, Arthur, we can just go ahead. And if you want to work on it a while, we'll do as Durga suggested.
Work on what?
Work on your volume.
Yeah. Are you continuing this, or is this the end of it?
We're just doing introductions. Can you hear me well enough just to introduce yourself?
Barely. It's really hard. I don't know why.
Okay, well, maybe you could just introduce yourself if you can hear me well enough just to hear that, and then you can work on the volume. while we're doing the rest of the introductions.
Okay. I am Arthur Goheen. I've been involved in the pagan community since 93, I guess. And working a lot with Anavan over the years. Denise was the one who sent the invitation. I've been trying to get her hooked in, but the volumes thing is a problem. I don't know what's going on with it. Usually this machine does very well with volume.
All right. Well, we heard you, Arthur. So why don't we go ahead and go on to somebody else? Is Mary there? Marietta? Can you hear me, Mary? Okay.
Wait, hang on.
How about Janet? Or XT1710. Let's get someone speaking here. We want to get to some of our other things. Janet, are you there?
The joys of technology.
So here, I'm going to unmute.
Marietta?
I'm going to unmute Mary, and let's see if she can.
Yeah.
Mary,
Okay.
can you hear us?
Are you
Yes.
there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Hey, good.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Marietta Gamson from Oakland, and I visited Isis Oasis several years ago. Got an email from them about this session. I was very interested. I did visit Eleusis when I was in Greece, and I've always been interested in the mysteries, so I wanted to learn more about this.
Great.
Right.
Welcome aboard here.
Welcome, Mary.
Thank you.
Is Janet here or not? Are you there, Janet? I know you had to teach about now, so.
So Janet is showing here, but there's no way for me to unmute her. So it may be that she's kind of got us on in the background, and you know, so she'll come forward.
Who else is here beside us? I mean, that we have to introduce.
I think that anybody
Are we
else
good?
want to raise your hand?
So
I'd like to say, since I'm a priestess, but I don't know if it's time
yes,
for me to pipe in.
Celestine, please do. It's great to see your beautiful face here and hear your wonderful voice.
Iris and Hawk are still here too.
Great.
Okay.
Is that the XT?
I guess that's what they put us on there. XT17102.
Okay, got it. Celestine, you want to wait just a moment and let's
Sure.
talk to these folks? Okay.
Go ahead, Iris.
All right, XT. Who is it?
Iris.
That's quite a handle we have. So it's Iris and Hawk, and we're in a park in Cloverdale, Mendocino County, I guess. And what brought us is we had the opportunity to meet with DeTracy yesterday, and then we saw the invitational there, and it's just all lined up. And what we've heard so far sounds wonderful, and we very much are looking forward to being part of the pilgrimage.
Great.
Wonderful.
Welcome.
Here's Hawk.
Yeah, my name's Hawk, Silver Dragon, legally and lawfully. Iris and I have been walking the path of the goddess. We did a self-dedication initiation ritual on my birthday in 2015, and we've been walking the path of the goddess together since then. And we intend to spread the love of the goddess across the earthly plane.
Oh, beautiful. That's gorgeous. Beautiful. Thank you. Oh, I'm so excited that you're going to be joining in. That's beautiful. And just I'm going to take, before Celestine speaks, I think that's everyone but the priesthood lineup, right?
Actually, it looks like Rick may have just come in,
Okay.
and he's just, it
Okay,
looks like an
let's go with that.
unidentified iPad. So, Rick, would you like to introduce yourself?
I love you, Rick.
Hi, Rick.
Love you too. Still not sure how to.
Is this Rick?
Rick.
Is this our Rick?
We can hear you, Rick, but we can't see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
That's great, because I'm staring at a screen with the same blank ID and I can't get a keypad or stuff, so I'm not sure how much I'm connected or not, but I'm thank you for letting me join. Love you all. Miss you all.
Welcome.
I miss you, Rick.
Great to hear your voice, Rick.
Good to hear your voice. It's like the sunshine.
Oh, let the sun shine in. Face it with a grin. Never mind. All right. Thanks, Rick, for tuning in. I'd love to chat with you soon. But let's, Celestine has been patiently waiting, and I'm so glad that she is amongst us today. She is a beautiful priestess, but I'll let her tell you more about it. Before we start that, I just want to say we have a number, we're getting very close to our maximum number of pilgrims that can join in on this cycle. And so I would say to those of you who are interested to be sure and contact us so that we can get you the invitation and you can, make your way into the path. And we won't have to worry about it being so full or something that we can't accept you. So really like to see all of those who expressed a desire to be on the path to get in touch with us as soon as possible. And Durga, I just want you to say one little bit about people who have difficulty, because you've been so beautiful in your expression of that, who are saying, I'm not sure I can because there are issues, money or time or travel. Or
I mean, what I've been saying is just that if you're really called, to encourage you to trust that it can happen. Talk to us and realize that sometimes when we embark on a major initiatory path, obstacles are a part of it, that's actually a part of the initiation. And, of course, if it's absolutely impossible for some reason, it's absolutely impossible. But sometimes it's not absolutely impossible. Sometimes it is that there's an obstacle that is presenting itself that may be a part of the path itself. So, and now I'll turn it over to Celestine.
Thank you. Thank you, Durga. Okay, Celestine, thanks for your patience here.
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of preparing for a talk, so I cannot, I'll be listening in the background. But anyway, I'm Celestine and Celestine Star, and I am High Priestess. I have the Temple of Light, and I also am a priestess in the Temple of Isis. And that's where I met Mother Bear, although I've known of you and the goddess festivals up in Mendocino County, up there in the mountains since the 80s, since then. So
yeah,
you and I connected pretty deeply, and with the Tracy and those of us there at Isis, and we've done many, many ceremonies through the years. So with that, you gave me the invitation, and I'm showing up here because I've been asked to possibly be the oracle. So I've been an oracle since my birth. We come from Egypt, Dimenhor, Egypt, and Kemetic lineage, where the oracles first began before they ended up in Greece. That was one of the northern, they have northern, southern, eastern, western oracles. And so I had the pleasure of visiting the Elysian Temple this year. So it's still active in a way, and it's still powerful. So DeTracy guided us, and thank you, DeTracy, for that beautiful journey to Crete and to Greece. It'll be in my heart forever. And so we actually did an oracle. That was great. And I was actually able to do an oracle at Delphi with DeTracy and a number of other priestesses. So, and we read one of the gifts that you gave us, Mother Bear, one of your dissertations. You could tell everybody about it, but I could tell you, anybody studying or learning from Mother Bear or Durga or Tom or any of these beautiful people who are in the priesthood, you will really receive deeply. So I would recommend it to all of you, and thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Celestine.
All right, I'm going to
Okay, DeTracy, did you want to add anything in this? Did you? I know you had a little stint before, but did you want to add anything, DeTracy?
Did you talk to me or?
Hi.
DeTracy, I was talking to DeTracy.
I really don't have much to add. Just I know you didn't hear all of it, but you know, really to welcome this energy into this space, because I know some of the events will be occurring here at Isis Oasis under the Temple of Isis, and I'm just delighted. And certainly, you know, our trip to Eleusis this past September was just re-emphasized all of the connections between Isis and Demeter and Corey, and I'm just delighted to continue to enhance that energy and to help bring this forth.
Thank you. Let's go to Elegwin. Present, Elegwin, yes.
Unmute.
Hi.
I unmuted it. Yay.
Hey.
Hello.
Yay.
How's everyone doing? My name's Elegwin Omwelon. I'm from Vancouver, living here at Isis Oasis. My background was originally in the Celtic and Druid Wicca world when I was younger, until I found the Golden Dawn. I was involved in that for forever. Was the former chief adept for the Golden Dawn International in Canada, and did my training at the University of British Columbia, doing a Master's of Divinity for the Anglican Church after I left the Roman Catholic. So, and I went to Waldorf School for 13 years. So that might explain a few things. I like to play music, and doing a Celtic concert here for my birthday at the end of the month. I'm very excited to be working with you guys, and had a great time meeting Mother Bear at the convocation. And yeah, this is very exciting. I love the Eleusinian mysteries. They're actually a big part of the GD world as well. And I do also do a magic class here on Monday night with Arissa as our guest teacher star when she can. And I'm doing a presentation at PantheaCon on W.B. Yeats's Hermetic Order of Celtic Mysteries that he developed but never finished. Cheers.
Great. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, great.
I'm going
All
to
right, I'm just going to keep on. Oh, Durga, yes.
Just quickly that Arthur has got his hand raised. So what I'm saying, Arthur, hang out with your hand raised. Let's finish these introductions, and we'll give you an opportunity just at the end of the introductions if there's something you want to check in further than what you've already done. So I just wanted Arthur to hear that, if you can hear it.
Yes, good. Okay, Sparrow. Sparrow?
Sorry,
Are
my
you there?
my internet was stalled.
There she is.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Sparrow Beth. I have known Mother Bear for about, oh my gosh, 14 years. She was there when I announced the birth of, or the coming to be of my daughter, Tara. I was introduced to Mother Bear through my sister, who's Sarah, who's also a priestess. I'm the initiated priestess of Eleusis, and I think it was 2011. Oh my gosh. I'm really happy to be here and be present with the Priesthood. I live in Mill Valley, California, which is in Marin. But I consider Arcata my home. And I'm a mom of a 13-year-old who constantly like challenges me to be better. And I am so looking forward to meeting all of you in person, the ones that I haven't. And I am just like super excited to be part of this cycle.
Oh, so good.
Am I supposed to say anything else?
Good. Thank you.
Well, let's just try Janet. We'll call on her. I suspect she just has her computer representing her right now. I think she's teaching her Qigong classes.
Yeah,
I think that's what's happening.
There's
right
no way
now.
to even, there's no even mute possibility
No.
or unmute for her. So I think it's.
So is that everyone on the screen? What about this iPad? Who's the iPad?
That's Rick. We heard from Rick.
Oh, Rick, that's right. So who else? Is there anyone else, or are we able to now to move on?
Have we heard from Delta and Durga?
Oh, no, I forgot about us. I mean.
Oh,
well, Sparrowbat
Thank
is
you,
us.
Thomas.
You're welcome.
Thanks for nailing me down here. Okay, let's have Delta. I'm sorry. I did mention that you were a founder, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, good. All right, go ahead, Delta.
So I've been a part of the Magickal Cauldron for about 20 years. I went through the Living Mysteries as a pilgrim in 2001, 2002, I believe. And I now serve as a priestess of the Cauldron and also on the board of directors on our 501c3. I'm the secretary treasurer, so I get the wonderful job of collecting the money and all those mundane chores. So you may hear from me if you're going to be going through the mysteries about some of that. I honestly don't know why I was originally drawn to the mysteries other than some force, maybe from Mount Olympus, called me. But once I got into and at the time I only knew one other pilgrim in person, and I only knew Mother Bear through online communication. But I was immediately welcomed into the family, and I would just say that any of you who don't know us and everything, I tell you this because you'll immediately become part of our family and you'll be welcomed. And that's one thing about the Magickal Cauldron. We welcome and make sure that you feel safe. And we also build a safe container. And that was really important for me when I went to the mysteries, because what ended up getting revealed, which I wasn't even expecting it, was something that was a deep wounding and a violation from my teenage years. And I was given the safe space to reveal that and work through that wound and begin the healing. So that was my experience of the mysteries. And I continue to priestess the mysteries cycle after cycle, not because I'm any wiser than anyone else or anything, but because I want to help maintain that space, that container for other people. And this planet's in need of people who are spiritually, physically, and mindfully centered, and there's plenty of it for everyone. There's plenty of abundance for everyone, and that's what I love to see, is people grow. So.
Blessed be Delta. Beautiful. Thank you. I have to take a minute. Cheered me up a little. Okay, Durga.
I'm Durga again. I know that you've heard from me a couple times already, and I'm the keeper of the Zoom temple. It's my Zoom account, and I went through, as a pilgrim, went through the mysteries also in that 2001 cycle with Delta and with Thomas and a number of other people, and it was a real crossroads for me. It was a time of, I had just given birth to my first child and needed to have some sense of what direction am I going? What is mine? And it really helped me to look at the things that I needed to look at to choose my direction, to choose where I was going. And I've been serving on the board. I helped with the process of getting the Cauldron incorporated as a nonprofit. And I'm just so blessed to have been and continue to be a part of this organization and supporting you, Mother Bear, and your vision. And I'm excited. Just there's so much coming together to, yeah, I'll talk a little more about that when I get into the astro influences. I think that that's enough for me as an introduction. So happy to be here.
Thank you, Durga. Beautiful. Blessed be. Beautiful. Blessed be. I couldn't really do any of this without you two and Thomas, you know. That's the truth. Well, I guess I'm the only one left to say anything here until we move on to the next part. And really, I feel like enough has been said about me that I don't really have to say very much. But I will say that I was part of the initial work at the Church of All Worlds in 1991. And from the very first moment of initiating, I was called into an aspect of priestessing in the very first year. And so I have been priestessing these mysteries in one aspect and another as several different ways since 1991. And in 1990, when did we, 9? Is that when we started the Cauldrons cycle? Expanded those mysteries in any case to
2001. 2001.
2001. We expanded those mysteries into a 18-month or 2-year cycle, depending upon the conditions of the times. And so I feel like I was called into these mysteries even as a child, because when I went to school, because I'm older than most of you, they still taught, they taught the Greek myths. They were part of the curriculum. Now I'm telling you, it was the Greek myths, not the Roman myths, not the Assyrian myths, not even the Egyptian myths. They talked about Egypt as the cradle of civilization, but they really taught the Greek myths. And there's reasons that this is important, and I will speak of this at another time, not now, because we don't really have the time to do that right now, but I will. I'm glad to talk about it. It's a good favorite subject of mine. But the very basis of the mysteries is embedded in many of the mythos that was generated out of Grecian writers and philosophers and magicians. And so there's quite a lot of energy for me and for us all around this. And it will come to the fore as we walk upon the path, and it will express itself in the ways we need today, the way we need now in this world that we live in at this moment, and the world that we create for ourselves. And I will say this one thing, and this is very important, that we create in every way the world that we live in, the one that we breathe and speak and walk about in. That's the world we create through our thoughts, through our words, through our actions, through our inner relationships with all that is. And whether we're conscious of that or not, it still is so. And so for those of us who are so gathered here today, we have a beautiful opportunity to come together and create changes in ourselves, with our family, with our friends, with our tribes, our communities, and with the world at large, because that's the way it rolls and we know it. So I feel very blessed and very my heart is full of gratitude for those of you who joined today, because it indicates to me that there are people in my everyday life now who want to walk forward and create important visionary changes in the world at large through our personal information and interrelationships and ideas and the work we do. So that's so I've been you know, priestessing these mysteries forever, it feels like to me, and we'll talk about eternity as things go along, you know. So for now, let's see. Okay, we did that, and that.
Mother Bear, I would
Yeah,
like to.
that. Where are we here? We're doing good. Oh my goodness! Finally, we're here.
We're here.
Oh my goodness.
I would
Look,
like.
I'm glad we only have a couple pages left here, but it's a longer, you know, it's a longer thing than all that, right? Where are we at, Thomas?
I would like to entreat you, High Priestess, to cast a circle and formally inaugurate our magical space here in the virtual temple.
Oh, thank you. I would be delighted to do that. And I'm going to cast the circle with a circle casting that was offered at the goddess retreat in Eleusis this year that DeTracy and Celestine went on, and other goddesses. And they took this circle casting there and had a rite. And I want to share that with you because it's already imbued with much of the energy for Eleusis. All right. Look at, this is what I'm casting with. It's a elk bone hand-carved antler. That's my Atami. So that's what I'm casting with. I cast the circle all around, from many paths to family ground, ancestors, forebears, grandparents all. You made the way. We heard your call. For those of us who gather here, to kith and kin, both far and near, we gather dreams within the heart. Our will, our trust, give dreams a start. Mother Goddess, we call you now. Safeguard our circle, witness our vow. Rooted in lineage, revealing true self, we offer the world the essence of wealth. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
And now, Thomas, I think that we're going to invite Durga to get on with these astrological.
Yes, I think that's what
aspects, right?
That's
Looking
next.
forward to this.
We've been waiting for this, Durga. We know we're in it.
We are in it.
We've reached the alignment of the conjunction, haven't we?
I think the alignment was this morning, but it goes on for a few days because and I want to just let everyone know I am not an astrologer, but this particular piece has caught me. So I'm offering it as a lay person, having learned. This is also an offering of Star, and Star is part of the priesthood and could not join us today. So in a way, what I'm offering here is a bit of his introduction. We're sort of invoking him into the temple because he is an astrologer. And so many of you may already be tracking that there is this lineup happening, strongest today and tomorrow, and Pluto and Saturn are conjunct at 22, 23 degrees Capricorn. And first I want to, so this is something that happened, it takes, the last time this happened was 37 years ago, I believe. So it's a very long cycle. And what I want to offer, some of what I know is from a gal named Emily Trinkus. She's an astrologer who works a lot online. And I will put her information in the kind of comments below the, when we post this on YouTube, you'll find her information link. So if you want to follow up and get more in depth about this, please do. I will also post what I'm kind of working from here, which is Star's write-up. So all of that will be there. So I'm going to just kind of skim over this as a layperson, but just to kind of give us the idea of what we're working with here and why this date is so powerful to be starting this process in. And
can you talk a little louder, Durga?
Oh, is it? Okay.
No, for me, yeah.
All right. I'm we'll bring this up like the mic by my face. Hopefully that'll help.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that better? Okay. So
Yes.
what I want to say about this, so Pluto is Hades, is the underworld god. Saturn is Chronos, who's time. Chronos, Saturn is really kind of about it's the slowest progressing personal planet, that's Saturn. So this has to do with our personal lives. And it is the slowest of the 3 epochal planets, Pluto. So that means that Saturn has to do more with our personal lives. Pluto has more to do with the maybe generational, cultural, societal, like it's affecting on a much larger scale. And given that the cycle is it's between 32 to 37 years, the ending of the last cycle has been felt for a year. So if you are noticing structures falling apart, you're noticing that has been hard to get things done. If you are noticing, as we've been talking of like, why can I not hold on to things? Why can I not, quote unquote, make things happen, which is kind of a Saturnine impulse to try to create structure out of nowhere. It's because Pluto has been getting ready for this new cycle, Pluto and Saturn. So the fact that we're going that this is conjunct today, it's the beginning of a new, very long cycle. So there's a power in that. So whether you're joining us for the mysteries or not, this is a powerful time to set intentions, to really be looking and not just be looking at your personal life and what you would like to be doing for the next 35 years, but also what contribution do you want to be making for larger movements in the culture, in the world. So that, I don't want to go too in depth here, some of it just for time constraints, but just know that it's important that those of you that are going to be joining us for this cycle, it will be a ripe opportunity to lay whatever these intentions are into place, to be looking at what it is that's maybe in what are your obstacles. It's important. And what we do is important. It's not just about our personal lives. I think that's the main thing I really want to say. This is about how are we moving and affecting the world? How do we want to be in the world? How do we want to be forces for change? So I'll just read, actually, there's something I want to do quickly for those of you, I hope. I want to share, just to have a visual here. You should be able to see, I'm going to, oh, you're seeing my emails is what you're seeing, but this is the lineup, right? So I hope you can see this. Can everyone see it? Just give me a little, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sharing is working good. So I'm just going to like circle here. This is what is happening in this conjunction right now. So it's not just Pluto and Saturn. That's these two right here. These are the things that, these are the aspects that come in every 32 to 37 years. But Mercury is also here, so communication is a part of this lineup. It will move more quickly than these two. But this is also in the conjunction now. This is Ceres. Ceres is Demeter, right? She's also here in this conjunction, 23, 22 degrees. And then tomorrow, more strongly, the sun is going to be in conjunction. The sun is, how is this being moved into the world? So all of these, and then over here is, these are not quite such a tight conjunction. And as you can see, these are all in Capricorn. So I will put a link in the description of the video of the recording if you want to follow up and kind of figure out where this is in your chart. Can be important to see, and the way you figure that out is where does Capricorn lie in your chart. But one of the things that Star said is that it's not, because it is such a slow moving transit, it is not so important which house it's in, because it's going to travel through all of your houses. It will affect all of these areas. So again, more information will be in the description if you want to follow up and learn more in depth about that. And then I just want to read a few words that that Star put at the very end of his sharing. So we're invoking Star here. Welcome, Star. At this time, although challenges certainly arise, the opportunities both for personal ecstatic growth and benefits for generations to come could combine into opportunities for one and all on a scale which occurs only rarely in any given lifetime. So there's my offering.
Powerful.
Any, if there's any questions, I know also Eloquent has.
Yeah, we could invite Eloquent to say something if you like.
Eloquent, would you like to share anything or add anything to that?
I think you sort of said it. Yeah, I'm not an astrologer either. Just my mom is, but yeah, and it's such a massive synchronization of planets. It's pretty daunting. Yeah, I'll try and have some more concise thoughts to share next time.
Okay, thank you, Eloquent.
Okay. Thomas, do you want to say anything? I'll say something as we go along later, but
I'd like
you go.
A little bit,
Louder,
if I may.
hon?
Hello?
A little louder. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. So Durga mentioned this, but at the end of one of these 37-year cycles, there's a process of the dismantling of structures as we're heading up towards the new conjunction where we're at today. So we could look at the last year and all that's been going on in this country. Pluto is also about the underworld and the bringing up into consciousness or up into view things that have been hidden, that have been in shadow up till then. We're certainly seeing that going on with all these impeachment proceedings and what's going on with the United States government and governments all over the world. And we've all had these dismantlings in our personal lives too. But another way to look at that is that this has opened up some kind of space for something new to arise and to move into. And so if we tune into this, there's this great opportunity moving forward to bring what we will and what it is that we desire on a collective level into that space. And so this is one reason that we're so excited about the timing of all this, that we're starting this mystery cycle today. And for the next year, which is the time when Saturn and Pluto will still be in orb with each other, we'll be doing this work of planting and developing the seeds that we want to come into fruition for the next 35 to 37 years. So this is something that we can each do individually in our own lives, on our own dreaming and our own planting and our own visioning about our lives if we're going to be on the planet for that much longer, but also collectively as the cauldron, it's part of this mystery cycle and whatever other communities that we're a part of. So just to underscore what Durga has said and to, add the excitement about this wonderful conjunction and coming together of things at this time today.
How about anyone out there? Does anyone want to add anything? We don't know all of you that intimately, and you may have either a deep or a passing acquaintance with astrology and have something important to share right now. So we can take a few minutes to do that before we close.
And this is Durga. I would just add this piece that because it is so slow moving, there's this direct conjunction with all of these aspects that's happening today and tomorrow. There's another conjunction that they kind of travel back and forth, Saturn and Pluto, that will be happening in February and then again in November. But in February and November, they will not also be with Ceres and the Sun and Mercury. And, that massive conjunction is just today and tomorrow. So there will be more opportunities to be working with the energy of Pluto and Saturn, but with all these other assisting, I think of them as assisting. It's like we have Mercury assisting, and we have Demeter assisting. We have all of this, and the sun is assisting the energy that is wanting to come through. I guess I'm a little more fired up than I thought. and to kind of think of Saturn being what kind of structures, the way it was described to me is that Pluto being the slower moving planet wins, is what I've been told. So that what Pluto needs to do and needs to bring in is what is primary here. And these are the jewels of the underworld. These are the jewels of our unconscious. There's so much to that. Saturn cannot squelch this. And there can be a desire sometimes, because Pluto might feel it out of control, to try to squelch it. But we need Saturn to create structures that can support that in being used for positive good in the world. So I think
Thank you. I just wanted to say that I was blown away when I heard the planets that were in attendance at this conjunction. We had planned this time for starting our virtual temple some time ago, and the mysteries even longer ago were set into place. We established this time because we didn't want to do it in the holidays, right? We wanted to get to January, but we wanted to get something in there before the spring Eleusis festival, especially because our October festival had things happened that were unavoidable, and we didn't get to do that one. So we wanted to, get this meeting started. And I know it's unusual on a Zoom conference such as this to want everyone to give an introduction to themselves to everyone else, because look, it takes a long time to do that. But this is a vital part for us to know each other. If we had been in festival before this, you would have already met. So many of you who are going on to the mystery cycle are meeting for the first time today and starting now to build the community. But the thing that really blew me away was when I got a write-up about this conjunction and found that all the characters from Olympus were involved in their Roman guise, in their astrological guise, but involved on the very day we had planned for this temple. So that to me is a magical occurrence and a calling into being for this cycle. It is something that, the finger was put on us, like I want to do a thing here and say yes. And so I think it's very exciting that we have so many invisible energies in attendance with us today, guiding us, illuminating us, opening our hearts to the mysteries already that will be more and more revealed as we go along. The mission for the Magickal Cauldron is personal growth on the ecstatic edge. Now, what I can tell you another time around a fire or something, how I came up with that idea for the Magickal Cauldron. But I mean, change is, but when we make choices when we're called into change because something is calling us that is positive, that's attractive, that makes us feel hopeful or better or more together or more productive or whatever it is we're needing, then that is the way we want to go. We want to go, like I always say, if you follow your nose, you'll end up where you're going. So that's one thing. What's his name said, follow your bliss. There's a lot of the Joseph Campbell, follow your bliss. So it's kind of that kind of thing. Let yourself be drawn into what is calling you, into what is attracting you. Because if you feel good about the changes you're making, everyone else is going to feel good about you, who surround you, and that's already a positive thing, right? So we're going to go with, and also we have work to do. I call it, and many do who are into the magical genre, the great work. This is the great work because it's greater than ourselves. We have our personal work to do. It makes a difference to everyone around us and then to the people in our community and to the world at large. But really, the service is about something greater than ourselves that create a future for the planet and for our lineage and for our children and grandchildren, the 7 generations. So we want to experience that we can create life as we know it and love it. So that's some part of the mysteries. By the way, we were going to let Arthur have another chance to speak, so we better do that because we're coming up against a break, right? Oh, and the break, I'll just say that this public part is ending at the end of this conference. Do you want to talk to that, Thomas or Durga?
I would like to say that, we've said a number of things here, and I just want to make sure that if any of the people listening either have questions or if they have things to add to either this description of what's going on astrologically or with the mysteries, that there is a little time for us to do that. So
let me unmute Arthur, and because he's had his hand up, and then see, yeah. All right, I'm going to unmute you, Arthur. Can
just
you?
A sec, though. You can unmute him, but just a second. I just want to say that if there are people who have said on this part of it that you are dedicated to being on the path, you should text Delta or Durga in right away, and then perhaps they could be permitted into the sanctuary of pilgrims.
Okay. All right.
Hi.
Yes, Arthur, I think we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Okay,
Yeah.
Arthur.
Actually, this is Denise and Arthur.
Hi, Denise and Arthur.
Denise and Arthur.
What did you want to ask me?
I just wanted to add that I'm here. I'm Arthur's partner. Have been actually on February 10th. We have been together for 20 years. And I started do you want me to introduce myself at the end?
Why don't you introduce yourself now, Denise?
Okay. I started my spirit walk at the end of the 1970s. And many years I spent in a native community, and Starwhite, or Mayor Lee, knew me on what was called the Crohn's List that we joined in 1995. And in the 2000s, she invited me to come to Berkeley. And my little country scared soul got on the plane and met Mayor Lee. And I fell in love with her. And I fell in love with Arthur. And by the end of our stay, we had made a little family. Arthur took me to Anavan shortly after my commitment to him. He made a commitment to me in November, and by the time I came back to Berkeley, I had gained 150 pounds. He didn't know what to do, so he took me up to Anavan, and I laid on the ground at Anavan for 4 days, being nurtured and loved by Jack and Tamar and Arthur, and something in my spirit woke up. I have been walking a mixed path of native and this tradition, Arthur's tradition, for many years. And at one time, I went through an introduction course with Glenn Turner, and she talked about the mysteries. And for some reason, I couldn't hang on to them, but I believed them because the idea of half the year in darkness and half the year in light was certainly part of my path. So I don't know, and physically, I don't know if I can be part of the temple. But if Arthur chooses to rejoin this path, I certainly will be his support person. And I love you all.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you so much.
So I think it's, we're really, what time is it? Can we have a time check?
It's about 5 minutes till 4.
5 minutes of 4. So we have just enough time for your last words, Tom, and then Sparrow was going to offer a little something before we end.
Sparrow she got called away. I got a little note from her.
Oh.
So she will not be able to offer something right at this point, but she'll be back on the second half of the call, the Pilgrim's Temple. So.
Okay, for those of you, I feel like we have to just everyone understand that there are 2 sessions to this call. This part is the Temple of Living Mysteries. The next part is the Pilgrim Sanctuary. And so those of you who have already entered that pathway will be on that call along with the priesthood, any priesthood who can be here. And we have another session planned after a half-hour break. And so I just want to I'm just telling you that because some of you have said, I am dedicated to the path, I'm going to do it. And so if that's so, I think you should get in touch with Delta or Durga and let us know that you're committed, and you could then perhaps enter that call. I haven't talked to the other priesthood here or my high priest, but yes, Durga.
And let me just offer too that call will also be recorded, but will obviously be kept private to only the people that, so if you're feeling like I really want to, but like I can't just get back on the phone, I can't get on my computer again in a half an hour for another hour and a half call, or feeling like, you need to think about it, we will have a virtual temple online where we will be able to communicate by, writing and sending photographs and that kind of thing. And this recording will be there, be available for committed pilgrims. So it's not like this is the last chance you get.
But it is a secret room.
It is a secret room. It is all a secret room. This recording will be public, and the next recording will be secret. So, and the online temple that we're creating that's more for, typing our communication is also going to be a secret room.
Okay. Oh, Michelle, yes.
Yeah, I just have a question. I was wondering if you could go over just some of the logistics, like how often people meet in the cycle and whether that changes year to year. If I'm the only one who doesn't have that information, I don't want to waste time, but just kind of a little clarity would be helpful.
Who wants to, Durga, or shall I?
I can.
There's 3.
I can address that, or as you like.
Okay.
There are 3 in-person festivals. They are on the equinoxes. So the next one will be the spring rites. The next one would be around the autumn equinox, and then there will be one the following spring. So those are the in-person festivals. We will have.
So there's a 6 months apart.
Right, and
so
then
you
we
can think about that.
Right,
Michelle.
we will have at least monthly prompts, check-ins that we will be doing online, and some of those I expect will include more Zoom calls. So some of them will be Zoom, some of them will be, in the virtual temple. That's more we can upload photos or, write our thoughts, journaling. And then there's also an opportunity for one-on-one mentoring with various members of the priesthood, and that would be, you would schedule that on your own time with the individuals. So, and then there will be an optional. We'll do often a reunion 6 months after that final one, but that's kind of more optional. It's really often more like, I want to see y'all, let's get together. And then
there may be occasions that people It's not everyone. It's not necessary, you know. But there may be other occasions, like we may end up going to Isis Oasis for in bulk, and anyone who can be there maybe will show up. But it's not a formal part of the cycle.
Right. And then the festival coming up in February at Pantheacon.
Yeah.
The other thing that I will say is that we have been talking more about how can we do this virtually entirely, because some people do. I know people who live on the East Coast, they're like, I can't come to a festival, but I want to do this. So Mother Bear and I and Thomas, we're talking about like, how can we make this initiation totally a virtual experience? It would not be the same as not having the in-person, but I think that we're, I think.
Oh, what happened?
Got frozen up.
Something happened. Durga froze right there.
Can you hear me? Am I back?
Oh, now I can.
Okay. All right.
My question was sufficiently answered, so.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
but just to close that loop, there may be a total virtual option, and we are in discussion about what that would look like.
Can't promise yet, but we're working on it. Okay, Tom, before is there anything more you want to say before I lead a song?
Thank you all for coming. We look forward to carrying on with those of you who are continuing with us. Thank you.
And what Farah was going to say, I'm going to say, for those of you who are going to join us in half an hour, take a minute.
Hello?
Take care of yourself.
Hello?
Oh, hello, who?
Hi, this is Iris and Hawk here. We wanted to double check just to make sure we're not fully clear. So this we're interested in the pilgrimage and being part of it. We're still not fully clear as to when the meetings take place, if they're going to be virtual at all times, or if they're going to be at a location, and if it's weekly, if it's monthly, how often.
Okay, let me answer. I got the essence of the question. Okay, Iris and Hawk, so glad you tuned in and asked again. There are 3 festivals that are in-person festivals. They happen on the equinoxes. March of this year, the September of this year, and spring again in March of next year. Those are the 3 in-person festivals. Beside that, there are times that we'll have a Zoom conference, or we'll have even just a online. We have an online presence so that we can share stuff online. There'll be meetings online. There'll be meetings in that way, but you don't physically have to be present. We haven't set up the itinerary or the schedule for those yet. We like to see how, talk to people and see what the best time is. Like usually if there's an online thing, we'll probably, that we want you to be there, we'll reach out and say, hey, we have 2 or 3 dates. Give us your best date. And we'll do our best to be flexible and accommodate everyone's presence.
Is there a suggested donation associated with the
there's fees?
I'm sorry?
There's fees for the initiation, and for that,
and how would we find out?
I think Iris and Hawk need to be in touch with Delta or Durga about this, and they can get all the information through email. Let's do
How
it.
do we get in contact with them? How do we get their contact information?
I think Delta probably sent you the Zoom information. Is that true?
It's info@magicalcauldron.com. Magickal, M-A-G-I-C-K-A-L. Yeah, magicalcauldron.org, I mean.
.org.
.com. Yeah, .org. Info, and that will reach Delta, it'll reach Durga, and it'll reach me, I think.
And
I'm not sure.
You can also go to our website, magicalcauldron.org, and remember that's magical with a CK, and you can contact us through there. And I'm excited.
And if she already has your information, Delta, do you have their information? XT1710-02?
It's Iris and Hawk.
Iris and Hawk.
That's Delta there.
Wonderful. Okay,
Do you
thank you
have
so
it,
much.
Delta? Yes, thank you. I'm excited that you might join us on the journey. That's wonderful.
Wonderful.
So hang on
And
for
then-
a minute. We'll end things.
Okay.
Anything else? Raise your
Are you
hand
getting-
if you have to speak.
Is it coming back on in a half an hour, or when is the
Yes.
next meetup?
4:30.
Only for those who have committed to it.
Okay.
Devora.
Devora.
Bye,
Ay,
Devora.
ay, ay. Something's happening.
Devora, are you trying to talk?
Yeah, there it is.
There you go.
Is there a different link for the later meeting?
There is, and if you didn't receive that, we'll make sure that you receive that by email.
Okay, all right.
But it should have all been in one.
It's go to your email that I sent you.
I'll find it.
To the second one, the public one was on the top, and then the second one was on the bottom.
And that was my cat Roma, who is participating in this as well. He owns my lap.
Okay, how we doing? Any more hands up, or are we good? Can we do a closing song? Look, I just like to sing too. You know that, Deborah. We love to sing together. We do we call it the choir, you know? So it's a simple chant. You all know it. But
I'm gonna
think that
unmute
it
everyone.
really expresses it. What the world needs now, right, is love, sweet love. So we're going to do the chant, love, 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 love.
I'm going to unmute everyone so we
I
can
don't know how
all
this
sing
works,
together.
This thing. So it's going to be
All right.
interesting.
Everyone
Maybe a lag.
everyone is unmuted so we can all sing together.
All right. Love, 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 love. People, we are made for love. Love each other as yourself, for we are one. Love, 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 love. We are made for love. Love each other as yourself, for we are one. Christ is the charm. Love,
love, love, love. People, we are made for love.
Love each other, for we are one. I got pretty good at the last round. We're gonna get good at this.
Sorry, I didn't know that at all.
You know.
We're on different time zones. And we think
Yeah,
that,
I know.
Oh,
Thank you all for being here. This has been an absolute delight to meet you and be with you all and see your pretty faces and hear your wonderful prayers and vigils and voices in this gathering. Thank you.
All right. And pilgrims, we'll see you in about 20 minutes.
Okay.
4:30. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.